find the other slipper. He rushed forward, staying low and close to a brown fence at the corner of Plimpton and Main that still gave off paint fumes. There was no time to pull up his socks. The cracks between the planks glowed a phosphorescent blue, a swimming pool. There was something about a lighted swimming pool at midnight that reminded Jack of murder and intrigue. A car passed on Main Street, its headlights flashing through the fence and illuminating the leaves floating in the pool. His sister could be drifting toward this vacant stretch of road where high schoolers tore through in trucks with wheels bigger than her, blazing a shortcut out to Sheridan. He followed the path he imagined her taking, between houses and down alleyways, until he reached the sewage creek that cut through the community. During the summer, he remembered, the feet and underside of a duck had bobbed there for days. On the grass that sloped up from the creek, he spotted the glow of the other slipper. His sister stood a few yards away, on the bridge that overlooked the creek. Under a towering steel streetlight, she swayed slightly. Her head was lifted, and a white glow bloomed from her neck up to the stretch of baby fat under her chin. Her eyes were closed, as if she were basking in the pool of light. If Jack did not know better, he would have thought a spaceship had beamed her down to Earth. He sidled beside her, a slipper in each hand. He was Annabel's protector, but sometimes he did not know what to do with his hands. "Hear me in there? Knock, knock?" Annabel blinked. "You found me, Daddy." A few dead crickets still clung to the lamp. The stink of the summer's crickets had carried through the end of fall, and perhaps would last through a winter that never arrived. It was no wonder he'd thought American air to be unsafe. In those early years in Plano, Jack had held his breath around diapers and hospitals and graveyards and urinals and police stations and fertilizer and roadkill and cameras and his father. "Daddy," his sister said. "Okay," he said. "Daddy, Daddy, Daddy, Dad, I heard you." Now, that call again. That, "Breathe, Jack." That, "Take your sister away, Jack." Away from the light, away from the image of dead crickets falling, as faintly as the first snow in China, into her little mouth. It was a new day, and they needed to go back, to the sprinkler-fed grass, the potted mums, the vanilla-scented pine cones that would remind him, in any season, of this place he'd lived in Texas. Take her back, Jack. Take her back. This fall of 2003, Jack was 11 and his sister 5, the span between them never changing, though he felt that it should. 6 years contained an entire life. They equaled, he reminded himself, the number of years that he'd lived in China. The more years Jack had accumulated in Plano, the more he'd shed of that first life. And in the days before Annabel began sleepwalking, what he recalled most clearly was his own daydreaming, perched by the 4th-story window of his grandparents' apartment in Tianjin. His earliest memories were of looking down at older buildings, while his later ones were of looking up, craning his neck toward condos and offices that sprouted in a matter of months, crammed in staggered formation so that where one building ended in the skyline, the next began. They bled into his view of the muddy high river, the uniformed street sweepers, the market from which every few days his grandparents wheeled groceries home. There went the older buildings, the greenhouses growing like hair on their roofs. There went green itself. The older and stronger Jack became, the more he saw the wobbly legs that held up his city. Beyond the high-rises were the cobblestoned streets flanked by forts and villa-style houses, complete with red tile roofs that Italian invaders had erected. The giant